Hello and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome to the show.
Welcome back to us and to you.
We've been gone so very long.
I know. Has it already been a month? More?
It's been over a month, I think.
I guess we started our break maybe before the end of October. And now it's already December. December snuck up on me. November passed by so quick. This whole year did. And now we're already about to start preparing for our end of the year wrap-ups.
Yes.
I cannot believe it.
But before we get there, we wanted to just come check in with y'all because I live in Texas now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We're doing this from afar.
And it'll sound better next time. We're waiting for equipment to be delivered, but we missed you guys.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so much that I just want to talk about because even before we left, end of September was support girl groups.
Yes.
And so that is a very specific episode. And then we did a deep dive. And so I feel like so much has come out between mid-September and right now that we just haven't talked about on the podcast. So I just wanted to have a easygoing catch up on music we've been enjoying episode.
Yeah. I like it. It's a nice way to kind of break our hiatus and come back in nice and easy.
Yeah. And preparing for end of the year episodes is always a challenge. And we were discussing before we hit record that I feel kind of out of touch this year.
Oh, me too. 100%.
Because so many of my favorites came back, which is a great thing and I love it. But there was so much other music that I feel I didn't even get a chance to take in.
Oh, me too. And I mean, we were just saying that this year kind of all passed by in a blur. And I really didn't keep track of all the new releases the way that I feel I usually do. Mm-hmm. So I think that it will be both easy and very difficult to choose certain things because for the B-sides, I won't have many to choose from. So I'll have to make less difficult choices than I usually do. But for the titles, I will be familiar with very few of them. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research and catch up on the things that I've missed that we're going to have to be, evaluating.
Yeah. So I've made a little top of mind, mostly chronological list of comebacks and things that we haven't been able to talk about. And I did write down some news items, but a lot of it is annoying and depressing. And maybe that's not the vibe. So maybe we'll skip it, but
we can play it by ear, see how we're feeling.
How this goes. So the first thing on my list, I've been waiting to talk about it for months, but like I said, support girl groups got in the way, and that is a sacred episode that can never be sullied by Boyz. But my precious baby Dawn finally put out a real whole album for the first time in his whole goddamn career. And it's incredible. Wow. It's so good.
I can't believe you haven't had a chance to talk about this
I know.
Until now. That feels like ancient history at this point.
It kind of is.
Yeah. Tell us all about it. What's the name of the album, the title track? What's the vibe? What's your favorites?
So the album is called Narcissus, which is that a Greek god?
Yeah, well, it's not a god, but it's a Greek myth of Narcissus, who was very handsome, and he got enamored by his own reflection in a pond or a pool of water, and so one of the gods or goddesses turned him into a flower that bends toward the water, which is called a narcissus flower. But yeah.
Okay.
So it's about being vain and falling in love with yourself.
Okay. Well, he did say in an interview that the purpose of this album is that he wanted to introduce the world to Kim Hyo-jung and not Dawn, this other version of him that he's had to be up until now. And it's mostly the most heartbreaking breakup album that anyone has ever written in the history of music.
So it's mostly devastating.
It's devastating. This man is in pain. Pain.
Beautiful, beautiful pain.
Beautiful pain, because it's like so sad, but the way that he speaks of her in this album is still like there's no anger. Like he still loves her. And he needed to try to work through it in this album.
Is the title track also called Narcissus?
No, the title track is called... Wait, what was the title? The title is Star, I think.
Okay.
And it is a sad piano ballad, and a bunch of people like did covers of it. Like Hyolyn did a cover of it, and like everyone was singing it.
Is that the one with the music video where he's getting like attacked? He gets like shot with arrows?
That's Heart. The music video for Star is like, it's in the same set of that like car crash tunnel, but in Star, it's like, it's sort of like, I assume he was like laying on some kind of floating platform and he's like shot from above and he's just kind of moving slowly through the chaos, but like it just stays on the one shot above his head the whole time.
Oh, interesting.
And that has a feature from 10 Centimeter on it.
Okay. I know him from a duet he did with Chen.
Yes. And then Heart, there is a music video, and that song is more like The Weeknd vibes, I feel like. And in that one, he is like running from his own self. Like another version of him is hitting him with cars and shooting him with arrows. And like,
yes,
he's
that
dancing
music video I watched
anyway.
And it's very rough. It's brutal. It's brutal.
It's brutal. But yeah, there's so many great songs on it and so many features. Like, one song has PH1 on it. One song has Gemini on it. There's a duet with a female singer, Kim Sawol. And there's a song called Lullaby that Eshi from WJSN wrote that is beautiful. And it's like half ballad, half like lo-fi hip hop kind of vibes. And I just like think it's such a great mood, like start to finish. It's a really good album, and I was so proud of him for making it, and I enjoyed it so much, and I was loving it, and I was like, wow, he finally found a new home and people who respect his art, and he wrote this beautiful album, and then he was like, bye, I went to the military.
I know, he just disappeared so suddenly and was like, sorry I didn't tell you ahead of time, peace.
Yes, he just left.
Yep.
But it's okay. Now we have the album to keep us company while he's gone. And he said that he recorded a bunch of other stuff and they've already put out like one single like since he left. So they might be able to just keep like releasing things a little bit at a time. But yeah, I just needed to get that out, that I loved it and it was beautiful.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that a couple of them, or the one that I have to narrow it down to, will show up on my B-side list because I loved it so much.
Yeah.
All right, great. The next item on the list is like a slight like bummer, but people will want to know what we thought of it. But like Sunmi came back for the first time in a mazillion years.
I know.
And it was, no, it's not the song, man. It's not the song.
Yeah, I was so excited for this comeback, and it's called Stranger.
Yes.
And the music video is I do really enjoy the music video. It's like a Frankenstein concept where Sunmi is making a Sunmi, and like the scientist Sunmi, and then the like Frankenstein Sunmi has bangs, and like that's how you tell them apart. And the Frankenstein Sunmi is literally missing a screw. So what it's basically like Sunmi training a doll to like be the pop star that she is or whatever. But the song, much like the Frankenstein concept, is a Frankenstein song. And like, although I think that there are pieces of it that work on their own, I personally don't like the way it comes together. And it was just Sunmi like essentially lately only releases singles or like maybe an EP once in a blue moon. But so this one had 2 B-sides, and both of the B-sides are great. Like they're very Sunmi. And very like Sunmi B-side where, you know, it's like kind of jazzy and has like nice real instrumentals. But I'm not a fan of the title.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of it.
I wanted to like it because I want to like Sunmi, but like, just meh.
It wasn't for me. And I own every Sunmi release, and I did buy this one, but it's the only title track of hers that I skip. Literally the only one of her entire discography that I skip.
Yeah.
So that was a bummer, but it's okay. She looked great.
She did.
And you know what?
Does.
She did suck it up and do the TikTok challenges. So good for her, asking people to join her and do her little TikTok
she was saying
challenges.
that she did not want to do that.
Yeah, she was like, I'm afraid of coming back because I'm afraid of doing the TikTok challenges. She was like, I don't know anybody and I don't have friends. And the idea of having to go up to strangers and ask them to do a dance with me makes me want to die. And I was like, oh, my poor Sunmi. She's going to have to, she has to fall for this new promo or
it
trend.
Is so crazy that it's really, we're in such an interesting era of K-pop because there are so many second gen idols that are still around.
Yeah, and but they have to do all of the Gen Z.
Yes,
TikTok
the way that everything
promos.
works is so different from the way that they did it, and they are all having to adapt to this new world of doing TikTok challenges and coming up with ending fairies and shit that didn't exist when they
first started. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Okay, next comeback on the list is the 17 11th mini album 17th Heaven. Have you not even listened to it yet? It's okay.
I haven't listened to the album. Oh my God, I'm the worst carrot in the world. Except for the fact that we'll get to it on the timeline, I did recently watch their Mama performance and I did scream multiple times. But I have not listened to this album. I definitely watched the music video for this title track though, because they sent that microphone into space.
Yes, I wanted to talk about
for
that.
real. They sent a microphone into space and filmed it, and it's in the music video. Why did they do that? Because Hype has money to burn, baby. There's no other reasonable explanation. And I remember liking the title. I could not for the life of me tell you how it goes right now, but
It's called God of
enjoying
Music,
it.
and it goes. Oh
yeah. Yes, it's so cheerful and classic 17 that I really did enjoy that. But I have not listened to the rest of the album.
I really liked God of Music when it came out, and I was so excited that I liked it because I am also a terrible carrot and I haven't enjoyed a 17 title track in a minute.
Yeah.
And we talked about it when we saw them last year, the amount of people in the audience that seemed to only know the hot album. And I was like, oh goddamn.
I know, and it was it's an album I still don't know to this day, and I saw it performed live.
I've admittedly only listened to this album once when I was on my cross country move drive. I did listen to it and immediately skipped the Crazy Hip Hop Unit song as per usual.
They're just testing us now.
They're
just fucking playing with us.
But as also usual, the vocal team unit song is so beautiful, and it's called Yawn, and Woozy wrote it for Boo and Moonbin, and it's so sad and so beautiful and wah. But yeah, 17.
17. Always back again.
Always back again.
With their brand new teeth.
Oh God. The teeth.
Everyone I was not distracted by anybody's teeth in their Mama performance.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah. What's next?
Okay. Next on the list is Taemin, of course.
Taemin! That's what my year has really been all about. Despite the fact that Shiny actually came back this year as well. Taemin's comeback.
Okay, so it's called Guilty, and it's his 4th mini album.
Yes, the title
and
track
the title
with the
track
same name
is Guilty, and it's incredible, and the music video is so intense and so good, and it's like he's in a scary like cult, not cult, like bad kids got sent away.
It seems like a re-education camp of some kind. And because the music video is kind of told out of order, like you don't see him getting like captured and taken to the camp until like kind of halfway through it. But it's basically like kids have been taken to this re-education camp, and it seems like Taemin leads like a revolt of the like campers essentially. But it's very like sensual, and like he's talked a lot about how like the whole concept of it is that like he's taking control of his own sexuality for the first time, and like so part of the lyrics is like I can walk like this, talk like this, play like this. And so he's kind of like, this is like what he thinks of when he thinks of eroticism. And so like there is definitely like a sexual element to it. And like I mean the choreo itself involves like a shirt lift, but the music video to me as like a recovering Catholic from the South just read like a gay conversion camp.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of like really sensual like like other people's hands on his face and like getting really close and like writhing bodies and stuff. So it just like felt like gay conversion camp to me of like but I'm a cheerleader, everybody's gonna start making out anyway, whatever. And very like Lost Boys with the like garbage junkyard fire or whatever, and it was very, very fun.
I saw a really interesting like interpretation, and I want to say that it was on Asian Junkie, because in the physical album, which I haven't seen, I don't have it, but apparently like early in the album there's like a picture where Taemin is like, you know, laying on a bed in a sensual way, but then the page before it has like a keyhole cut out of it, so it's like you're peeping on him. And some people were like, this is very inappropriate. Like, I don't like this. And Asian Junkie was like, yeah, he's calling you bitches out. Like,
yes,
because people have been looking at him in an overly sexual way his like since he was 14.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like he's saying like you're guilty.
Yeah, that's the interpretation I've read as well, and I think that he has like corroborated that with his own explanations of the concepts. Because I've seen a lot of interviews about him talking about how like he wished that he had the chance to debut as an adult, and like because he debuted as a child, like he's always been told to look a certain way and like dress a certain way, and essentially been like create the image for him was created by other people, and like people have always sexualized him, and now that he is an adult and is able to like view eroticism in his own way and like his own spin and interpretation of it, people are like, this isn't the Taemin I want to see. Like Taemin is a baby, and he's like, but I'm not a baby anymore, actually. So I just think it's so well done. He's such a genius in everything that he does, and the choreography is incredible. The costumes have been so good. Like I love that he's like, this is my version of sensuality and sexuality, and he comes out wearing like a jean skirt. Like it's so fantastic. And then he's been going absolutely crazy, or he was, because he's not promoting anymore, but like the Rizness was his B-side stage. And that one stage where he has like the alien forehead prosthetic and the like fake nails, I was like, ooh, the Rizness. Like that song is so bananas, but the stage is so captivating. Like Taemin can do anything. Taemin can do anything.
I think my favorite piece of comeback promo, because it just was so touching and great, and I love it, and I'll talk more about this later in the list about how we've truly reached an era where all the other idols grew up as shawls, and that it's like very interesting. But he did one of those, I can't remember the name of the channel right now, but the one where the people are texting and everyone's
the titles are always like flirting with an idol or something.
Yeah, but he did one of those where it was like 4 rookie boys who worship him. And then he was in there and they were supposed to find the secret senior among the rookies.
Those. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
There's another one where it's
the
like
other one were the
just
two-
two idols.
yes.
Because he did one of those with Hoshi. But I recently saw one also that had Joy and somebody else. And I can't remember the other girl. She was like a younger idol. And she freaked when they like revealed and looked around the corner and like saw each other. She literally had such a freak out looking at Joy that she ran out of the room. And Joy was just left being like, and it was very adorable. But so
The channel is Pix ID,
yes,
Pixid.
those. And you have to like pick, like when the Monsta X did one and they had to like pick the fake
Find the
fan
mom
or something
in there or whatever. Yeah. So he did one of those with like 4 rookie boys who like worship him. And it was so cute. And like they were like having fun, like answering whatever questions. And nobody was suspicious of him until then they asked like, who do you look up to? And then all of them were like Taemin, like, and writing like beautiful things about how much they loved him. And then they were like, oh my God, wait, we all said Taemin. Like, is he here? Is that what this is? And they like all started freaking out. And it was so cute. And he was like so touched by how much they love him. And then when they revealed that it was him, one of them like literally fell on the floor. The other one was totally speechless, like couldn't move. They were like so excited. And then at the end of it, he was like, do you guys want to be the first people to do my dance challenge? And he like taught them Guilty, and they like did it as like a 5-member thing. And like they were all, it was so, it just was like the most heartwarming, adorable thing I've ever seen.
That's so sweet. I thought you were going to say that they knew it was him because of like whoever he revealed as his like idol or like who he looked up to. And it's somebody like very old. They're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Well, they did. I feel like they started to suspect him because one of the questions was like, what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done? And he said like, he's told like 4 stories. And then they were like, this guy's a lot of stories, like for a
rookie. Yeah.
And one of them was like about taking the mic pack home. And one of the boys was like, I know this story. Like, wait a second. I know this story. And like, so they were suspicious. But it was so cute. If you haven't watched it, please watch that because it was freaking adorable.
Great. I love it. I love that.
The album itself, the mini itself is great.
Yeah,
obviously.
it's very good. It's very good. Beautiful.
I think, I mean, probably spoiler for my B-side pick, but whatever. I think my favorite at present is She Loves Me, She Loves Me Not. I really like it. One. And I feel like it has the most Shiny vibes of the whole album. Like, I feel like I can picture Shiny doing that song.
Yeah.
And I also heard, speaking of Shiny, I heard that Guilty was presented to them as a hard option. And Key said, you told me this.
Yeah.
That like, no, that has to be for Taemin.
Yeah, Taemin said that he had pushed them to add Guilty to the hard album, and Key was like, nah, that's just for you. And it's funny like knowing that and then listening to the song, I'm like, I kind of can hear like where you would put the other Shinies, but the song itself is so Taemin.
Yeah.
Like everything about it fits perfectly into his previous releases that it's like, no, this song drips of Taemin. Yeah. Like you couldn't have it any other way.
But I will say, because I think it was incredible and I was so proud of him, but before the album came out, when they were doing one of their Shiny World Japans, Mino tried to start spoiling the album, and he sang the ooh like ooh. Perfectly. And I was like, yes.
Okay. I love it. They've been getting up to shenanigans in those Shiny World concerts, and I love to see it. Mino is so fine.
Yeah.
I know that's not news, but it's always worth saying.
It's true. But it's true.
So fine.
All right. Back to the list. Let's see. I had like it was big news for a minute, but it turned out to be nothing. But they tried to get G-Dragon, and he
Oh
said,
yeah.
no.
Nice try,
Nice
bitches.
try. Negative drug tests all around.
Yep.
She can't catch him.
Can't catch
'em.
me. I love it.
Another thing that happened, and I haven't watched it yet because I haven't been able to, like, I don't know, put myself in the space to like take it in, but I do want to eventually watch it. But there is a Sully documentary on Netflix now.
Yes, I watched the trailer for it, I think. Oh no, did I even watch it? No, I think I just read an article about it now that I'm thinking about it, because because I thought maybe I just like pictured her speaking so clearly in my mind, but I think I read a quote. And it seems like it was the article spoke very highly of it. So like it seemed like it was well done. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was exploitative. And the person who wrote the article seemed to think that they gave like a nice platform for her own words and for her to be able to tell her story in her own words. So in that, I like am intrigued to see it, but I'm also very wary of watching it because we all know how her story ends and it's not a pleasant one. So to have to like be in a place where I'm willing to
exactly. It's like I want to hear from her, but I know that I'll just get sad.
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing that I haven't taken it in. I haven't sat down to watch it or listen to it, but I was just so excited to see that it happened, which is that Dean returned to us.
Oh, yeah! I have not listened or seen anything about that either, aside from the fact that it happened.
Just that it happened, and it was like good to see because he like fully disappeared for years, and everyone was like, "Where is Dean?" But I guess he came back, and the only other thing I saw about it is that he like put the song out, and then like 2 hours later it was like pulled from all platforms, and he like got on Instagram and was like, I needed to fix something, like I'm redoing it, it'll be up later. And he like had a last minute change after he'd already put it out. So I don't know what the deal with that is, but I need to check
what
it
has
out.
He been up to?
I don't know. Dean. Next thing that I need to address, even though like people might be sad at my reaction to it, which is Hyuna finally peeked her head up out of the wherever she's been, and we found out that she has also joined
Dawn's new company
at Area. She's there now too. Waited till he was in the military so she didn't have to run into him in the building. But I was like, glad to see that, because I honestly didn't know if she'd ever come back. Like, I wasn't sure if she even wanted to. But she did put something out.
Yeah, it's called Attitude.
Yes, and I am so sorry to say, I don't like it. I don't like it. She looks incredible in the music video, obviously.
And there's like so many Lukes in it.
So many Lukes. She's got like a really cute, like short, shaggy haircut right now that looks great. And the outfits are crazy. The like that bitch bikini top. Real fun. Like she looks great. But I think that the song, it's just nothing. It's so nothing.
No,
it's just like
just
regular
bland,
like drag club,
like dance beat, and then
boring.
just like my attitude. Like that's really all it is.
And also, I just want to say this on record, like just because I'm not trying to be a hater, but as a person who loves this woman and has dedicated so much of my life and time to worshiping her and knowing exactly who she is and what she sounds like, that is not her voice singing on that song. That is not her. It's not her. You cannot fool me. That is not her.
Yeah.
So disappointing that she's like in her J-Lo era. She's not gonna sing her own songs anymore, I guess.
I know. Oh, Hyuna.
Oh, Hyuna. But yeah, anyway, good to at least see her like returning
Out
a
and
little
about.
bit and like at a different company, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry to say that I did not like the song very much.
It was
Meh.
very disappointing, but it was fine.
was
It was
fine.
just very middle of the road.
Yeah. Yeah, it just like wasn't anything other than like visually it was incredible, but like auditorily, no thank
Yeah,
you.
nothing to listen to.
But something that is something to listen to, and that I'm still to the like it's been like a month probably already, but I'm still losing my shit over this BBG's comeback.
Oh my God. I have had Maniac stuck in my head for I think over a month, but B, listen to that album on repeat constantly. It's so good.
It's so
It's
good.
so good. And speaking of drag dance club beat, here's one that has something worth listening to. The B-side they were promoting is called Untie, and it's so excellent. Like the beat is infectious. Like you
Yes.
cannot sit still while listening to that song, and like it's so sassy, and like I love the little like, is it fake or real, that smile? It's so cute. I love it. They're like so ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. I love it.
And
they're
it's
little
really
like
cool.
ta 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 ta.
Yes.
It's so
Oh my God.
good.
I also love because I just think that it's like so interesting, and there's like so few groups. Are we good?
Yes, sorry, I just knocked my phone over with the ta ta ta. I tagged too hard.
I think that's super interesting about that song is like there's not a lot of 3-member groups in general.
True.
Like, but it's really cool that every single verse of Untie, they all switch parts. So like
Yes.
every single like whispery line of the chorus, like they all do it in one of the choruses. And I just think that's so interesting.
Yeah.
And
they
like,
do a really good job with that in Maniac too. They like
Yes.
really have a nice even line distribution.
and I like think that the styling is so great. And even though it will never be, I still think we have yet to return to like peak second, third gen sexy girl group sexiness. This is like getting a little closer to that, like, you know,
it's
grown
very
woman sexy.
grown.
It's
Yeah.
like they're wearing lingerie. Like I've seen people like pull up on TikTok the actual things they're wearing, but it's like Lara Croft lingerie.
Yes. Yeah,
Like-
yeah. They look very like tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're wearing like boots and stuff. But yeah, I think it's great. I do. It feels very mature, and it's also not as cutesy as BBG, because like their last release was Bop, which is like
Right.
so cute and was very catchy, and I liked that previous release as well. But this is like a sort of darker, sexier, more mature concept, while still keeping the super feminine energy that BBG has. And I love it. I
Right.
think it's a really, really good combo of all those elements. Like they're carrying it off really well.
Because it's such a departure from their like G-Friend days.
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
because that was a long time ago now. And they're like grown-ups.
Yeah. And I was thinking about that one episode of Queendom where they like tried to give BBG a like super like dark, like heavy song. And the girls were like, this isn't our vibe. And so then to see them come out with this, which like Maniac and Untie both, they don't necessarily sound the same, but they sound very different from BBG's previous stuff. But it's not like hard to believe that it's them. I feel like
Yeah.
it still fits really well, and like they're not changing their voices at all in order
Right.
to
They
like,
still have baby voices.
yeah, they
like,
still
that
sing
was their-
exactly the same. They're not like changing their vibe to fit the genre. They're just like putting themselves in this concept and still remaining true to themselves in a way that I think is really good. I love it.
Yeah. The choreo, I can't even describe how obsessed with the Maniac choreo I am. And it was done by Connie, who did the hard choreography as well. Like, she is a genius, and those super sharp butt pops are crazy. Like,
so
I
good.
feel like their hips have to be clicking the way that they are hitting it
that
so
little, like,
hard.
Yeah.
And like it's like a lot. I saw a lot of people, on TikTok or whatever, saying that this is like G's era, like that she's like slaying that choreo so hard. And like, good for her, because her stage name literally means thumb.
I know.
Because she was the like ugly chubby one in G Friend or whatever, and like she's putting all that behind her, and
Hell
I
yeah,
am here
they
for
all
it.
look so good. They all look so good.
Sunmi's like silver hair.
Oh
is
my
incredible.
god, it's so gorgeous. There was a period where she the silver started to fade and she was getting a little blonde, but I think they washed it again in silver, and she looks so good. She looks so good.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Can't recommend it enough. If you haven't checked any of it out, it's so good.
Yeah, and the whole album is no skips. Like, I love all of I think it has like 5 tracks on it. Overflow is definitely one of my favorites. That's gonna be hard to choose B-sides from.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next on the list is another thing that we've all been waiting for way too long. I want to say over a year. I don't have the exact time, but I feel like it's been more than a year. But we finally got a Red Velvet comeback.
Yeah, because their last one was Feel My Rhythm, and that definitely feels like a long time.
And I feel like
ago.
that was the beginning of 22, I want to say. Like, really early on. But maybe. Yeah. Either way, it's been forever.
It's been a really long time. Yeah, they're back. And their album and title track is called Chill Kill. The album itself is really good. I love it. I feel like I saw somebody say like that it just like delivered on every note that you could have wanted from a Red Velvet album, and I totally agree with that. I think every song is like, it's a no skip album for me, which is not usually the case for Red Velvet. They usually have at least one song where I'm like, oh, what is this? But yeah, I think it's great. The music video for Chill Kill is haunting.
It is haunting.
It is.
It's like similar to like Taemin. I feel like everyone's trying to make, and even like Sunmi, I feel like everyone's trying to make a point about like how terrifying it is to be
fame.
like a famous person. Because the plot of the Red Velvet Chill Kill music video appears to be that Red Velvet is being kept captive by a faceless man who like makes them perform for him. And like one day, I think it's Joy, can't take it anymore.
Yeah,
she smashes him over the head with something, and then they have to try to cover up the murder and like run away.
Yeah, and they like seem to be like kept dolls in this house.
In like an attic.
Yeah, and then they like, after they kill him, they like for the first time like start to like explore the house, and then they decide like they have to leave, so they burn the house down and they try to like go live free lives for the first time, and then they get it ends with them being surrounded by cops. But
then they get in their summoning circle.
Yeah, they get in their little coven circle,
circle,
and they're like, at least we died free, or whatever. And like, it's fucked up. It's generally fucked up.
Yes.
But yeah, the song itself is like so cheerful.
Yeah.
And so
but
the
spooky,
juxtaposition
which is their
of it
perfect
is
thing.
Yeah. So the juxtaposition of it is perfect. It's so Red Velvet. And I haven't loved all of their stage outfits, I won't lie. And they didn't do any promoted B-sides, which I found disappointing, because I really, like I said, love the whole album. So like any of the other songs could have been great choices for a B-side stage, but we didn't get any.
Yeah, the styling, I also feel weird about the styling, because I get it for the plot of the music video if they are just supposed to be like kidnapped girls, but there's like a set of outfits that are essentially like 90s winter Gap commercial outfits. Like, they're just dressed like so normally that like, I don't know, I feel like Red Velvet is supposed to be like they're usually just so much more like glamorous than that. So it's just kind of like they're just wearing regular clothes.
Yeah, and they're just, I feel like some of the outfits have seemed incomplete because they're wearing just like tiny baby doll dresses and then like a big winter hat, or like tiny baby doll dresses and like fingerless arm warmers. And I'm like, you only dress them halfway. Like put more clothes on them or something. Like, I don't know. It is like plainer than they're usually dressed, but
yeah,
it's a great album.
It is a great album. Great album. Stay tuned for whatever my favorites will be. I'll have to pick one. I think I know what it is, really, but hard. I don't know.
It's gonna be hard though.
The next two things I have question marks because I have yet to check them out, but have you checked out either the aespa or Stray Kids comebacks that were recently?
Yes. Okay, I did watch aespa. Drama mama. Yes. Drama mama. It's fine. It's whatever. I don't know. I am so like lukewarm about aespa, to be honest. Yeah. Like I did like Black Mamba and Next Level. Like I feel like those are songs that grew on me, like as they, or had like choreo that was interesting enough to grab me. And I haven't really been impressed with kind of any of their releases since then. I feel, oh no, that's not true. I liked Spicy and the B-side they did with Spicy. I did really like that actually.
That was this year.
Yes, I really, really liked that B-side actually. I can't remember what it was called now, but yeah, I think drama's fine. The choreo is kind of fun to watch. And they've had kind of strange outfits on stage as well. There were some that looked very like bridal, which didn't seem to, because the music video, if I remember correctly, doesn't really have a plot, unless I just watched like a performance version. But I feel like I remember it mostly just being them like in dramatic denim outfits in like a black room, and like it was very choreo focused. So I don't know if it had a plot or if I watched something else that wasn't the music video. But yeah, I thought it was fine. I haven't listened to if that was a single or an album, or I don't know what the release was. I literally only watched that in a couple of stages and thought it was fine. But to be completely honest, not all of aespa has excellent stage presence to me. Sure. So I am rarely like blown away with their stages. Yeah. But yeah, so they're out and about. And then Stray Kids had such a crazy music video. La 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 is what the song is called. I think it's got 4 laws. And yeah, it's fine. It's a Stray Kids song. I think I like it better than S-Class, but not as much as I liked Maniac. I watched a couple of stages because I always love their choreo. But yeah, I don't know. Mino is so hot. He's so good. And he's always like, so I feel like when I first got into Stray Kids, Mino was like, he's like so beautiful. And I don't remember if he's part of the dance line or the vocal line, but I felt like he mostly sang. Like, maybe I'm remembering that wrong, but I feel like he mostly sang. And in this one, I feel like there's a lot of moments of him like, yelling right at the camera. And I'm like, oh, Mino, like, you're so, like, or he, like, dances up in front of the camera or whatever. And you're just like, oh, my. But, yeah, it's fun. It's Stray Kids.
Okay. Just had to check.
Yeah.
Just had to check.
Absolutely. The music video, I remember being like, God, they just like throw money at Stray Kids. Like the music videos that they put out are like Marvel movie level CGI. Like it's so crazy. It's so crazy. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I feel like the last couple of Stray Kids comebacks, at least the chorus is like, I hear it on TikTok a lot. And I feel like this one, I didn't see anything for it. So like, that's all I would have seen. And I just watched Changbin do other people's dance TikTok challenges in his beefy boy way that he has to do everything. And I love him so much.
I loved him doing the maniac.
Yes.
Especially because
he did
they
it like
started
a boy.
with the little stray kids like maniac move and then did it in his like chunky little butt moving with it. It was so cute.
Yes. I love him.
He's adorable.
All right. The next thing I had is a news item that was just so great and so healing for all of Shiny World, which was that Jinky was spotted
At a yoga retreat in Bali.
And he looks great. He looks
does look
so good.
Yeah,
he looks like so good.
Beaming, smiling in every photo that I saw of him. And I also saw, like, because he was spotted, like, on the beach or something. And then I think some Shawls also saw him, like, near whatever hotel or place resort he was staying at. And they just asked him for, like, an autograph. And then he was like, oh, let's take a picture. So he was, like, in good spirits.
Yeah.
Which is very, very heartwarming.
I was happy to see it because there had been, like, a couple of, like, in previous months, like, you know, I think he went to Cheja's wedding. And so there was, like, a blurry picture of him in the background of somebody's wedding. And then, like, you know, like his cousin or something posted a picture of him and someone screenshotted an Instagram. And those always feel like, I don't know if he wanted y'all to see this, but he was taking pictures with like everybody at that retreat. So it seemed like he was fine with those pictures being out, which like makes it all feel a little better.
Totally.
But it was just so nice to see him and that he like looks so healthy and well because we didn't really want to like admit how sickly he looked before he left because it was like, he's fine. It's fine. He's fine. And I don't want to conjecture about him. He's fine. And then he was like, I'm not fine. And it was like, oh no, he's not fine.
Yeah.
But like he looks great. He looks great. And he hasn't cut his hair.
No, it's still long and shaggy and brown and it looks beautiful. And his face is filled out a little bit more.
Yes. So I'm just happy to see him well and you know, he can continue to take whatever time he needs. And we miss him a lot, obviously. But I'd like to have hope that we will see him reunited with the rest soon.
I know that they all want that. So hopefully he'll be feeling up for it soon.
Another reunion that is so exciting is that Sistar 19 announced that they're gonna do something.
Oh my god, I know. I can't believe it. Oh, it's so exciting. Hyolyn and Bora, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw a super cute video of them showing up at some kind of recording and doing the little like wave to the press outside thing, and they like looked so cute and they were like giggling so much and like it was just very exciting.
Yay!
I like love it. I love
that.
it. Like a super random subunit come
so
back
random,
after like a
but
decade.
so fun. I mean, because like the Sistar girls seem to get along very well with each other, so I just like love thinking about like, oh, what if they were just like out at dinner, like getting drinks or something, and we're like, remember when we were a duo, like wouldn't that be fun if we did something again? And I think that's so fun because Hyolyn is like her own manager and everything, so like she gets to do whatever she wants, and I love that she's collaborating with her former sisters. I think that's so fun.
And it's fun. I'm excited that like they're doing it because I wondered, because when they did that last sketchbook episode and we talked about it, Bora said on that sketchbook episode that she hadn't sung since Sistar disbanded because she just acts now. And so I thought, oh, maybe she's like done with that. But like, good to know she isn't.
I know. I hope that whatever they put out has a ton of body rolls.
Yeah, agreed. They need to. It's
important. It's got to.
Okay. There was like one weekend where there was a bunch of like super upsetting news, and I honestly kind of don't want to get into most of it.
Then let's
but
not.
But one thing that I do feel like I want to address, because I'm choosing to be hopeful in this moment, is the Rise situation.
Oh.
So if you didn't hear.
Yeah, summarize the situation first.
Seunghan from Rise, like right when they debuted or right when they were announced, a bunch of like pictures came out of him like with a girlfriend and whatever, and people were upset and already calling for him to be like kicked out of the group. but they didn't do anything about it. And then I'm assuming like this has to be somebody in his life, like someone he was friends with in high school who like hates his fucking guts now.
Yeah.
And just like wants to take him down because somebody just like kept releasing things like pictures of him smoking cigarettes and more girlfriend pictures and like texts of him like being like a fucking teenager.
19-year-old or whatever.
And then like it just like was like a barrage and it like wasn't stopping. So then SM announced that like he was going on indefinite hiatus, and the like letter that he wrote made it seem like it was his choice and not that he was like being forcibly removed by SM. I mean, we like don't know the truth, but I would assume like if it was me and I was like essentially being blackmailed that way, I would also be like, maybe if I just go away, this will stop.
Yeah.
And so like that's horrible. Like what a shitty situation to be in. Like I think it absolutely sucks that people can be like hated on for especially pre-debut stuff. Like it just kind of doesn't make sense. And
Yeah.
like how can you expect anyone to ever like be an idol if it's like, oh, and you had to have always been perfect like your whole life.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
what?
And we see that sometimes like here with like newer celebrities or something that like, oh, they get really popular from a TV show and then someone finds their like terrible tweets or their like shitty MySpace page or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, but you and I and our friend Jenna were talking recently about how like the criticism of idols has always been insane, and like the standards of perfection have always been absurd, and that's why they're called idols, and it's just a fact of the industry. But it feels like these days it's maybe, and I don't know if it's because like the newer idols now grew up in a time where the internet existed, and so like their childhood antics, teenage antics,
they have that
are
digital
documented.
footprint.
Yeah, exactly. So like the evidence just exists, whereas like second generation, third generation idols like maybe didn't have an online presence before debuting. So there just isn't even the smoking pictures or whatever. That doesn't mean it didn't happen, but there's not pictures of it evidence on the internet. But, like, we were talking recently about, like, oh, some, like, trolls on the internet are, like, criticizing Karina's arms for being too short. And, like, Songhan is getting kicked out of his group for, like, having a girlfriend before he was even a trainee. And it's, like, what is the point of even being an idol these days?
Yeah.
If every single facet of your life and your physical appearance is going to be critiqued to smithereens by like hordes of rude strangers on the internet, and then you also don't even get paid very well or at all. So like, your life is being ruined. You can't go out in public. You're not making money. Like, and people are just like, have a free access to be shitty to you about literally everything. Like, why would anyone want to be an idol?
Why would
like,
you want to do it?
Being famous sounds terrible.
Yes.
Like, oy, woof.
Oy.
Just woof. And SM, like, generally, we already know that SM has an MO of just fucking erasing people from the timeline, but this seems to be the swiftest that it's ever happened. And the way that they were so quick to, like, you know, regardless of whether or not it was his choice or they like pushed him into doing it, the fact that they were willing to be like, okay, you're gone, just because like he didn't even have a chance to like do anything, and they just decided to like cut their losses so quick with him. I mean, we were all so surprised when they made that same choice with Lucas, because Lucas was arguably the most popular member of Wavy aside from like 10. And they just dropped him so, like, he was in Super M, he was in NCT, like, he was everywhere. And then it was just like, whoops, he's gone. And it happened so fast, and like that felt shocking. And so then for it to happen again is like, damn, they really have no job security. Like,
Yeah.
and that's, of course, like a given within the music industry in general. But like when your company won't back you up about this kind of shit, like even the smallest stuff, oh, yikes.
Ugh.
Just what a terrible, terrible situation for everyone. Like, always worth repeating that idols need a goddamn union.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
This is crazy.
But the reason that I brought it up is, again, choosing
Oh, yeah,
to be
you
hopeful.
said that you had hope. What's the hope? Sorry, I was pretty hopeless.
No, it's okay. It's
Just
okay.
now.
This all might be wishful thinking, and I'll have to eat my hat later or whatever. But I'm choosing to hope to be positive. Is that so Rise performed at both Mama and the Melon Awards this past week.
I watched their Mama performance.
People noticed that when they were doing their songs, even the like TVXQ thing, which is not like a Rise song, there was like a very clear gap of where a seventh person would stand.
Yes,
like
I
in all the
noticed that
choreography. And when they did Talk Saxy, like they kept his lines in the track. They like didn't replace them.
Interesting.
And some of the other members have, in whatever fan cafe everybody has to use now, have been like sharing and liking posts from fans that are like, "You're 7 to me always," like whatever. So like it seems like everyone is being like encouraging and positive about a possible return, and not your typical erased, don't acknowledge that he's gone, like whatever. It seems like everyone is being positive, and I want to believe that he chose to take a mental health break or whatever, because I truly can't imagine what it would fucking feel like to be like betrayed in that way, because whoever has access to all of these pictures and texts and whatever is somebody that was close to him at some point.
Totally.
So like, God, that would just fucking suck if somebody was just trying to take you down like that. So
and isn't
I could
he
imagine
a teenager? Like those,
like
they're
20
all kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever.
I'm a kid, but still.
But I'm wanting to be hopeful that he'll get to join them again someday, because it would be such a bummer for him to be fully cut out this early.
I know.
But we'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to another great comeback that's more recent and that I am just yum eating, loving it so much. And that's the Boyz.
Ooh, yes.
So the Boyz, let me find out what this album is called so I can plug it properly. This new album is called Fantasy, but with a PH.
Okay.
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
And it's their second full album, and the title track is called Watch It.
Oh,
and you better watch it.
You better watch it. You better watch it and then watch it again. I think I watched it on loop for a good hour, maybe. Oh my goodness gracious. They're all so beautiful.
It's truly an astounding feat to have a group that has 11 people in it, and all of them are hot.
Every single one is gorgeous.
Like,
it's
wow.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, the song is a bop. The choreo is great. Everyone is stunning. The drop is breathtaking. Like the drop into the chorus, and also like
I love it. That like low growly,
that performance video that they have where they like cut back and forth between the two outfits, where like one is all black and one is kind of like not schoolboyish but like regular boy mall clothes.
Yeah.
Not school uniform is what I mean, but schoolboy-ish. And the like they start out in like one costume, and then the drop hits and it like cuts to them in the same place but in the other outfits, and you're just like, oh shit. It's such an assault. It's such an assault. Oh my God.
The part where Sunmi comes gliding in, hey, hello, my name is what you want it to. Like,
my name is what you want it.
Goodbye.
No.
It's
no.
so wild. This like the deadly center trio of this song of Juyeon and Sonu and Hyunjae. So deadly. It's so deadly that I didn't even notice until after I'd watched the music video like one time that my third Boyz bias Sangyeon gets like almost no screen time in the music video. Like,
yes, I was looking for him because he's one of the faces I always know because of his nose. And I was like getting him confused with Hyunjae, even though they don't look the same.
Right.
But I was like, but where is he? Like, usually he's very striking to me, and Hyunjae is so fucking hot.
Oh my God.
Like, he was just like knocking me off my feet every time. But I was like, but I know that's not who I'm looking for. Like, so I was so confused. And it wasn't until like a performance version that I watched that I was like, oh, there is the other one. Like, now I see them all. But yeah, oh man. I haven't listened to the rest of the album. I've only heard the title.
It's great. Cool. It's great.
Nice.
And one of the songs on it, I'll talk about it in the B-side up when we get there, but one of the songs on it like immediately shot up to my like greatest songs of the year list. Like, it's so good.
Great.
And yeah, I stand by the whole album. I think it's great. It's only like it's only 6 songs, which I'm surprised you're allowed to call that a full album, but fine. But my only disappointment, we were talking about this before we recorded, is that they haven't done a single B-side stage, like not even a dance practice on their own channel. Like, there's nothing for any of the B-sides, and I just find that so surprising because I feel like everyone had one.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are like not doing
promoting them
B-sides.
as much anymore.
Like, did we say Red Velvet didn't do any either?
Yeah, Red Velvet didn't do any. No, I was really looking forward to what they would have picked because any of the songs would have been a great choice.
Right. Okay,
and they
that.
only did Chill Kill. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my only disappointment is like, why not give me more, please?
Yeah, more please.
More, please. Yeah, so that was great. And now our final bit of discussion is about that it's award season already. What the hell? And one thing that took the internet by storm last weekend because it was so wild and I giggled so much because of course he did. But if you did not see, JYP did a performance at one of the Drama Actor Awards.
Lord have mercy.
And he has a single out right now. It's
Changed Man.
JYP. It's whatever. But at this award show, he came out in a full, like, 12-foot white trench coat dress thing with his hair all spiked up and smoky eyeshadow. And he sang an absolutely terrible cover of Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. And
it was
baffling.
Off key and flat. It was like a tire deflating. Like, I could not believe. And my favorite thing, we've talked about this before of like when idols have to perform at the actor award shows.
Yes, and the actors are always
the actors like don't know how to react to live performers.
Yes.
It's so weird. Like, they always look like they've never seen a performance before in their life. And they are just like,
why is that?
Why are they so awkward when somebody is singing live in front of them? Like, all you have to do is like bop along or whatever. But the cuts to the audience during JYP's reactions were so hilarious that the next presenter after he performed, and he performed more than just that Sweet Dreams song, but we'll talk about it. But the presenter, I don't know if he was the official MC, but whoever came out to talk afterward said to the audience that your reactions are being broadcasted, so please make sure that you monitor them after this. It'll be worth watching, like, because it was so crazy. One of my I have 2 favorites. One was the cut to this actor who I did not recognize, and he let out the most world-weary sigh. Like, it cuts to him and he just shakes his head and goes, Like, so resigned.
People have been dealing with this school for 30 years.
It was so hilarious. And then my other one is the cut to Dio and Crystal from SM. God. Dio sitting there with this bemused smile plastered on his face, like clapping to the beat. And Crystal sitting there with a deadpan expression, like she just couldn't even be bothered to like react to it at all. I loved it so much. JYP is so, and then people have the audacity to call us out when we call him ridiculous. Give me a fucking break. He's the laughing stock of the entire K-pop industry. Like, you can't pretend that he's not. That's not to say he's a bad businessman, but he's not a good performer. Come on. And he has no humility or self-awareness about his cringiness at all.
And that's why I think he's so funny.
Yeah,
that, like,
exactly.
For 30 years, he's been like as delusional as a person can be. And he like, and it's great. I think
incredible.
It's so great.
It's incredible.
Like, it's
and
so
I'm
funny.
sure that he went home and he saw all of those reactions and he was like, look at how speechless I left everyone.
Yes!
They are awestruck at my magnitude. Like, that's how he's so he's so delusional. I love it.
It's so great. I love it. My favorite has been everybody noticing that, like, Kyungsoo Dio's reactions to everything at these award shows, because he got LASIK this year.
He can finally see.
He was famously blind, and so he usually would sit at these award shows with no expression, but now he can see things and he's like a totally different person because he can see the world.
So funny to me because because he's always, his entire career has been blind. He has the reputation of being a very stoic, stone-faced, serious person. So for him to actually be very expressive and reactive and like kind of joyful, like he's sort of, I noticed it even in the like newer EXO stuff that came out with their last comeback, that like he always has a smile on his face. It's like his resting expression. And nobody ever knew that because he's constantly been blind. It's so funny. It's so funny to me. Like, he's got a fresh lease on life. A literal new look at life. Yeah. It's so adorable. So welcome, brand new smiling Kyungsoo. We're happy to have you.
We love it. Next thing on the docket is something that like literally took everybody by surprise. Like, there were articles about it. I saw like Tamar Herman tweeting about it, but like Mama happened this week on like Tuesday. Like, it was in the middle of the week and nobody knew it was happening. Like, nobody knew that it was Mama time and everyone seemed so surprised by it. And like Tamar was postulating that it's because like Twitter is like essentially useless garbage now, and so the like space where people used to get their up-to-date like K-pop news and stay up on events as they were happening is like lost. And like she was just kind of being like, what are we gonna do now? Like, we all clearly need a space so we understand what's going on. But anyway, Mama happened, and my highlight was TVXQ.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So TVXQ, Korean comeback for the first time in years, is we are in the midst of it now.
They look so good.
They look so good. They look so good.
They look so good. And the song is called Down. So when you first sent us the like first stage of it or whatever, because you sent us a stage of it it was not the music video. They
previewed
the music
it
video today
at Mama, and the music video came out this morning.
Yes. So. And oh wow, I'm so on top of things. And when you first sent the stage, and it said down. I thought it was going to be keep your head down. I like read it as that. So I was like, oh, that's interesting that they did like keep your head down. But you were like freaking out. You were like, I love the guitar. I love the this. And I was like, don't we know this song? So I was so pleasantly surprised when I pulled it up, and I was like, oh, it's down. Like, this is different. And it's so fucking good. And they looked so good. There was a point during that, because they did Down, and then they also did Rising Sun with Rise. And Rise, like, started it, and then TVXQ, like, popped up out of
Came
out
from
of
the floor, and they
like,
parted for the Kings.
Magic. Yeah, it was so great. And they were both wearing, like, sparkly suits with no shirts on underneath. And Changmin's was more unzipped than Yuno's. And I immediately was just like, slutting it up! That man is a father! I love it. They're so good. And he was so, like, smirky.
Oh my God. When Changmin does his little smirky smile, I can't take it. I was like hiding in my hands and kicking my feet and like squealing. Like, oh my God.
I know. He's so handsome.
So it's their 20-year anniversary on Christmas. That's when they debuted for the first time. So it's just like so amazing that they're still here and that they're so good. And the crowd was loving it because Mama was in Japan, and they're so fucking famous in Japan.
Such big Cassies in Japan.
So everybody was so excited, and I loved when they like panned the crowds, and like people still have those original TVXQ light sticks, which is basically like two glow sticks glued together in a cross.
Yeah.
And there were so many people that had them in the audience.
I also really laughed because they like cutting to the crowd, and there would be like women holding like Changmin signs and like TVXQ, and they were all like clearly in their 40s. Like, it was so funny. There was like one woman that they like closed up on, and like she was wearing a mask, but when she smiled you could see like the creases around her eyes, and she was so like, to me it was very sweet. I was like, oh, look at her, she's having the time of her life. Like, I love it. All of our like TVXQ fans are finally being fed after such a drought.
Yeah. My favorite was the next day, I saw a TikTok that like blew the fuck up from some K-pop stan account who had never heard of or seen TVXQ ever in their little baby K-pop fan life. And they were blown away.
Amazing.
And like posted a clip with like all caps, like, who is this?
Wow.
And like I and many other people commented, like, my comment was that like, I want to make a joke about how I'm a grandma and like, woe is me, but I also just want to say like, welcome to you. And like, I'm so proud that they're still like grabbing people.
Yeah.
And like, how incredible.
Because they are amazing. Our TVXQ.
So I don't know when the like album actually comes out, because when I saw the music video this morning, I like immediately was like, give me that album.
Tried to buy the album and to no
here.
avail. Let me see. TVXQ album 2023. To drop album in December, but what day? December 26th.
Okay, so we gotta wait.
Yeah, we have to wait. It says though it will look back on the duo's music career and history over the past 2 decades.
Interesting. I wonder if they will do some 2-man re-records of old stuff.
Ooh, that would be crazy.
But I love Down, like the single that we have so far. It is so beautiful. It's like kind of simple until it gets like really epic and TVXQ-y, and like it has this just gorgeous guitar noodling, and like it's very sexy, and like the main chorus line is like, just say you want me because I'm down.
Yeah, it's great. It's so good.
It's so good. I'm so happy.
And then Changmin has like the craziest wailing notes at the end.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. He just fucking screams like, it's so high. It's like some of the highest notes I've ever heard him hit.
Agreed.
It's crazy. It's great. Like, they went hard in this comeback. I'm very excited to hear the rest of the album.
Me too, because it's been years.
It's been so goddamn long.
Years.
It's been 84 years.
Was the last thing Truth? Because if so, that was like...
That was so
4 years ago. Like, what is something that's not Japanese?
Yeah, they have done Japanese stuff.
Oh, so much, because they always do. Okay, yeah, Truth was released in 2018.
Jesus Christ.
We haven't had a TVXQ comeback almost as long. No, that we had the podcast for a year. Okay, but still.
Wait, what? The entire time we've had this podcast, they've only ever put out one thing?
Yes, because when we started the podcast, we were like deep in Chance of Love. And then...
Because that was chapter 1, and then they put out chapter 2.
Yes, and that came out in December of 2018.
Wow. We were waiting almost as long as we waited for 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Damn these old men making us wait.
Other highlights from Mama that I enjoyed. I don't think I watched everything, but things that I liked. I liked Boy Next Door's stage. I really like Boy Next Door. I'll talk about it more in my year-end wrap-ups because I don't think I've even mentioned it on the show that I like Boy Next Door, but I do. And their Mama stage was really fun because they like started out like in their typical Boy Next Door suburban house in like colorful outfits when they did One and Only. And then like all the members except one ran away. And then one member started, but sometimes... And then the other members appeared, I counted it, 9 seconds later in completely different outfits. They did a 9-second quick change.
Wow.
And I was like,
impressive. Wow. Impressive. I love that.
So I loved that. I had thoughts about... Okay, I have a complicated relationship with the Elsup stage.
Okay, I haven't gotten a chance to watch that one yet.
So they first came out and they like, it said that they were doing Cheeky and Snap, but like they didn't do Cheeky. They like were introduced and like 4 lines of Cheeky played in like a remix sort of vibe. And I don't think that they had practiced or discussed enough how they were going to do this intro because they clearly weren't singing, but only like 2 of them was lip syncing their part, and then the others were like just looking cool, and then they were all kind of shifty eye looking at each other like,
oh, are you singing along? Are we supposed to be singing along? I wasn't singing along. Were you singing along?
So it was a little weird. But I feel like that's usually the case with like award show stages.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and we've definitely heard
they don't get
talk about how like we have to change the choreo in like a day and we never remember it. And like I've seen so many clips of like EXO fucking it up or whatever. Like the award shows are always kind of a mess.
But the second thing that they did was a song called Snap, which was one of the challenge songs from, I think, the 3rd episode of Queendom Puzzle. It was one of the first things they did. And so that was cool to see this version of Seven do that song. But the thing that kind of disappointed me is like in the show... We saw my Elsa bias started the song, and it was so iconic the way that she started it. They won that challenge like because of how she started it. Or no, they lost. They should have won. But anyway, they made a really big deal about like how iconic her starting the song was. But in this version, Nana started the song, and I was like, that's not how it goes. And so I was kind of like thrown off by the part distribution because some of them were doing not the part they did when they did it on the show. Yeah. So that was a little confusing, but it was fine. And they like, that song is so epic and it was really cool. And they put a cool dance break in the middle and they did a chair part. But my complaint is it was filmed and lit terribly.
Oh.
Like there was a part where Yodam and Nana did like a cool dance break, and like it seemed like the lights were off on the stage. Like they were not lit properly. And then the camera work for the chair part was bullshit, and you like missed all the good parts. And so I was just like mad because it could have been amazing, but it was done poorly.
Ugh, that sucks. I had a moment like that when I was watching the Kepler performance because they did a Grand Prix, and it was very cool. And like the performance is, I mean, it doesn't have any of that like uncertainty in it, I would say. They definitely like knew what they were supposed to do, and they were all wearing like crazy leather. And then there's like a fight scene with like 3 of them where they do this like intense like fight choreo. But then, and I don't know the Kepler's name, so I couldn't tell you which one it was, but one of them who like is a part of the fight scene and like kicks butt. And then they like walk forward like down the runway, and these 2 male backup dancers like lay down on the ground like on their stomachs, and like they're in a push-up position but all the way down on the floor. And then this Kepler girl stood on their backs, like 1 foot on either of their shoulder blades, and then they pushed themselves back so that she started to slide into a split.
Ooh.
And then the camera cut away, and the next time you see her, she's standing on her own 2 feet. And I was like, what the fuck just happened?
They missed the whole
What
thing.
just happened? I was so mad. I was like, whatever the hell was just happening, we completely missed it. And to the point where I didn't even understand the physics of how she ended up standing again. I was so bummed. The mama camera work always fucking sucks.
Yeah. It does suck. It does suck. I
watched the 17 performance, and that was great. And especially that one had me screaming because they all have black hair right now, or they all have dark hair right now, which is dangerous. And Minghao, like in that, they did God of Music. They did Super. That's the one where they go, I love my team, I love my crew. So they did that one, and Minghao like has a beautiful like reveal in that song. Like he's not like really in it until his part, and then he like in the choreo like literally parts, and he like walks forward, and he has the most beautiful fluffy dark mullet right now.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous.
I was on the floor. So I freaking love my Minghao and his mullet. I love it so gosh darn much. And I was just elevated as soon as he walked out onto that stage. I was like, hell yes, let's go. So I loved that one. Woozy had like a cute little ponytail, like
he has a tiny ponytail.
Yeah, he has a teeny tiny little ponytail right now, and like teeny tiny little bangs. So it's very cute. And I'm always like surprised by rapper Jonghan in that, like, because it's just so random. But yeah, what else did I watch? I watched the Kepler stage, I watched the TVXQ stage, I watched the 17 stage, and maybe that's it right now.
I think the only other one I watched was Rise. I watched Rises. I watched half of it because they did Talk Saxy and they did Siren. And I love Talk Saxy. So, that's something that came out. Great. Another great Rise single. Way to go, Rise. But they did that in their like sparkly jerseys with their names on it. And like it's so
nice.
Cute. And I loved it. They did the whole song. And then they did Siren, which is their like pre-debut thing, which is just, it's too noisy. It's not my vibe. I don't like it. So I turned it off once they started doing that part. Sorry, Rise.
Cute. That's all right.
But I think
they
the
can't
highlight,
all be winners.
Yeah. I think the highlight of Mama was that 17 won their day song for the first time ever, and it was so exciting. And Jung-hwa was presenting the award, and when she opened the envelope, she like caught her breath and started to cry, and then she said, "Finally." And then it was like, "It's 17." And she was so happy.
Well, she loves them because they did her so good at the Immortal Songs. True, I think she fell in love with them that day because of the arrangement of her songs because they did like this whole medley that was so good, and she was like in tears watching it like so many years ago, and that was way back when they like were rookies. So she's probably been a fan of theirs for so long. That's really sweet. I love that. I love that.
It was so great, and I just love when groups win those and they all cry and they all hug, and Boo Bear had the sweetest part of the speech, and he said this is a really hard job and we should all be there for each other and lift each other up, and then he was like, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but to my bin, thank you for always loving us, and he got everybody so good, and I was so proud and so happy for them. Because the awards have been, sorry, don't attack me, ARMY, sorry, but it's boring when BTS wins every year. So it was exciting that 17 won. Hey!
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I mean, we've talked about how little we care for the awards or whatever, but I think that's true of any award show. When you have a contestant that is going to sweep, it's like watching the Oscars and Titanic wins everything or whatever. I don't know. That was such a dated movie for me to use, but it was the first thing that popped out of my head.
I feel you.
But whatever. It's it is boring when somebody's going to win. And so, yeah, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of variety, and I don't know, those moments, some of my favorite SHINee moments are from when they won and they're holding each other, and or when EXO won and then somebody didn't know how to get off, I think it was Kai, didn't know how to get off the stage or whatever, just adorable things that they get so flustered.
So after Mama was the Melon Music Awards, a couple nights later.
I have a SHINee performance I still need to watch from that.
That's all I have taken in from the Melons. I know there were a lot of similar groups and performances, Rise did it again, and there's stuff to watch that I need to watch. But all I watched is that SHINee was getting recognized for being awesome for 15 years, and I think that was mostly what they were giving them an award for, is for turning 15. But I think that the actual award was performance or something. I don't know. That's the other thing about award shows is it's all made up.
Just make up characters. Yeah.
So that people will show up. But I'm not mad at it when it's my faves. So anyway, SHINee was there and they gave them an award and they were so cute accepting it. They Key was let's introduce ourselves, and Mino had to do the count, and I was like, he's not the oldest, Key, you do the count. But he counted off, and then he fumbled over the he didn't say their greeting properly, and so then him and Taemin were just laughing while Key was trying to give a speech. They were just too busy laughing about botching the intro.
Oh my god, poor Key. He's so tired having to wrangle these idiots by himself. I was just telling you before we started recording, I saw this because they've been doing SHINee World concerts, and Taemin and Mino had these tiny little swords or pocket knives attached to their costumes, so they had a tiny sword fight. And Mino was just holding the microphone up to their little click-clacking tiny swords. And then the camera just cuts to Key looking so done. Just so over it.
So
I love them.
They're so cute and adorable. And Mino, he's such a menace.
Oh my
because
God,
after
so
this
beautiful.
performance, after this thing he posted on Instagram, first a couple of just breathtaking photos of him looking so smoking hot that it's crazy. And then when you slide next in the slideshow, it was a picture of all 5 of them crying 10 years ago when they first won their like album of the year at Mellon and all were weeping. And I was like, you can't put these things in the same slideshow.
No, you know what you're doing.
But also this award came with them getting to have like a big old special stage that was super long, but only a chunk of it is officially up on the Mellon channel. The others are all like fan cams and like stream rips or whatever. But anyway, they did this cool little medley thing where like Taemin did Sherlock and Mino did View and Key did... Oh shit, what did Key do? Oh, god damn it. What did Key do? I'm so mad I don't remember. Dream Girl, of course. Key did Dream Girl, and then all three of them did Everybody. And then they did Don't Call Me, and then they did Hard. It was like a huge thing. And it was great. And everyone's been making fun of Taemin because when he was just, I think he was just so excited because when he did his Sherlock part and he did his, oh, I'm curious leaps, he was like springing like 3 feet in the air and he's like almost trips over his feet. Like he gets like all crazy because he was like jumping way too high. Like he just got overexcited.
That's so funny. I will say I haven't watched this version, so I don't know if it's the entire thing. But there is a channel called K-pop Fan Cam 8K. Fan Cam is two words. And they have a 12.5-minute video that has shiny 2023 MMA.
That's got to be the whole thing.
So that must be the whole thing. And it looks like it's a pretty decent angle.
The Mellon one only has the like 3 little solo chunks and Everybody. And then that's all they put up officially.
And this one, the thumbnail is of them doing Don't Call Me. I can tell by the choreo. So I think that one has the whole thing.
But my favorite part of this, which I brought up way earlier in the episode, is seeing all of the fan cams of all of the artists just losing it over Shiny. My favorite one is this moment where like at the very beginning or in between Mino and Key when like they don't really know what the song is yet and then it kicks into Dream Girl, these 2 boys from Zero Base One like start high-fiving and like like they like truly freak out. Like,
That's
oh my
so
god, it's
cute.
Dream Girl. Like they were so excited.
I love that. There was a oh god, what was he on? I want to say, I don't know if it was, I feel like it's not the Akmu brother, but it's the Akmu sister on this show.
Okay.
That Taemin was on. I sent you guys the Move stage. Hold on, let me find it really quick. Oops, wait. Because there was, like, speaking of idols freaking out over Shiny, what show was this? Taemin, I don't know. It's on KBS, but I don't know what the name of this show is. It's all in Korean. I don't think I can't like chat it to you in this FaceTime, can I?
I don't think so, but I think I found the video.
He's wearing like a black top that has like a shoulder cut out.
Okay.
And it's from November 3rd.
Okay, I think that the show is called, just looking at this, I think the show is called The Seasons, Akmu's One Night of Music or something.
Yes. So he did Guilty and he also did Move, and it seemed to be sort of like a sketchbook thing where the hosts interview the idol.
Right. Okay.
So because there were clips from like an interview with him, and then when he does Move, first of all, that performance is absolutely breathtaking, talking about just like catching up on stuff that has happened lately. Guilty is, of course, great because it's his newest release, but then he does Move. And I feel like I haven't seen him do Move since before he went to the military.
He didn't do it at KCON.
You're right. He did it at KCON.
But we were in space.
But I was astral projecting at that, right. Like having an out-of-body experience. I was not on Earth during that performance. So watching him do Move here with like the camera work and so close up, he does that choreography differently now, which is not to say that he's not doing the moves, but the way that it like exists in his body is different from when he first did it. And the girl, it will cut to, first of all, the audience melting down. Absolutely losing it. There's one point where, like, as soon as he starts, it cuts to the audience and this woman has her hands like this over her face, and then the guy sitting next to her, she just like hits. She's just like, look at him, like smacking his arm, and the guy is just like shaking his head like, yes, we're here. Like, it's so great. And then the hosts, Akmu, like it cuts to them and like the guy starts to like dance along, and the sister just like smacks him and is like, shush, like we are like she is like laser focused, like we were like not even moving, and is like, don't distract me, Taemin is performing. And I love it. I love watching idols freak out over our shiny. I know.
It's so great. It's so great. So yeah, that catches us up to like yesterday. So
yeah, that's everything that I
think we did
that
it.
We've
we've at least been paying attention to. I know there's been endless other things because it's constant, the barrage of K-pop.
It is indeed.
But that's at least what I have like taken a moment to like take in the past couple of very busy months where I was moving across the country. I still found some time to watch something.
I did also see that collab, that SM girl collab that was like the follow-up to WoW thing.
What is it?
It's fine. I remember, so the song I remember liking, it has a G idol, it has an aespa, and it has somebody else in it. I don't even remember what it's called. Shit.
Oh, wow.
Wait, hold on. It had Winter and it had... No, is it Winter? Oh, fuck. It had aespa and a G idol and... Oh, it's called Nobody. It has an IVE. And so it is Soyeon of G Idol, Winter of aespa, and Liz of IVE. Came out 2 weeks ago. It's called Nobody, and I remember really I like the song. However, I will say that the music video leaves a lot to be desired, and I think it's the only version of this song that exists. But the reason that I didn't like the music video is the vibe of G Idol is different from aespa and IVE. G Idol is way sexier and more grown than aespa and IVE. And Soyeon is very, very sexual in this music video in a way that neither Winter or Liz are. So that to me felt odd. I was like, this doesn't really fit. But also, they're so clearly they are never once in the same place at once. That music video was filmed in 3 separate chunks. They are all alone the entire time. And then there is not one shot of them even CGI'd into a room doing the choreography together. And the ending freeze frame of them together in front of this like marquee is so badly photoshopped. Like
this thumbnail that looks like the theater from 17
from the
Home
17
Run.
It is and that thumbnail is just as bad as it looked in the video as well. So that was honestly disappointing.
Well,
whatever. The song is good though. The song is catchy. The song is catchy. But yeah.
All right. Well, there we
Should
go.
we do a little random game to
Yeah, I
wrap
think
this
we shall.
episode up?
So we'll be right back with one of those. All right, we are back. And this week, the random number generator gave us the second iteration of a group now known as TO1.
Yes, originally debuted as TOO. This is a boy group that was formed on Mnet's reality show To Be World Class with a K. And that show aired in 2019, but the group debuted on April 1st of 2020 with a mini album and a title track called Magnolia. The mini album was called Reason for Being, Benevolence. And the title track was Magnolia. They were a part of Road to Kingdom, but they were eliminated. They were the second group eliminated.
And it was really sad. I watched that season and I remember this because they were similarly to Kepler being on Queendom 2. They had debuted like 2 weeks before they went on this show.
So they were like
the rookiest rookies. Mm-hmm. And it was really sad when they got eliminated because I just felt bad for them.
Yeah. And the following year in 2021, apparently they seem to have been originally managed by like two different companies, CJ E&M and a company called NCH Entertainment. And there was some kind of dispute between the management companies that eventually they rebranded, came under management of just one of the companies, and re-debuted as TO1 with an EP called Born on May 20th of 2021. And the title track was called Son of Beast. So now they're under a label called Wake One. Which
is who does Zero Base One.
Yeah.
And those other temporary TV show groups, possibly Kepler as well, if I'm remembering correctly. I might be remembering.
And is JO1 a part of that? No, that's a different.
That's one
that's right.
Japanese
That's the Japanese
labels.
one. That's right. But yeah, so they've had a couple different lineup changes even since debut. They have 5 former members, and like 4 of them left in 2022, and they were replaced with 3 people. One of those replacements has since left as well. So it seems like there's 8 people now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And they haven't put out any music this year at all.
No.
It looks like their last thing was from November 22.
Yeah.
So
it's been a year since they've done anything. But they have 2 EPs as TOO and 4 as TO1. So they were putting out music pretty consistently until this last year. So I don't know. They have it's a soundtrack. Never mind. Yeah, I don't know what they've been up to.
Interesting.
Interesting.
All right. Well, their most popular music video as TO1 is called No More X, and it was released in November of 21. So we're going to watch that. And if you want to watch it with us, you can pull it up and press play when I say go.
Yeah. The music video says October 28th, 2021.
Okay. I was looking in the caption. Where
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The mini album came out a couple days after.
Okay. All right. Okay. If you want to watch No More X with us, pull it up, press play when I say go. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. We got a car driving up to some lightning.
Dum 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 dum. Yeah. Dum 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 dum.
They said together as one.
Let's talk about X.
Let's talk about X.
Baby, let's talk about you and me. Okay, so we've just got like boys in... Okay, well now we have a new outfit. But it's mostly boys in black, and like we're either inside a dilapidated building or outside and we're dancing. And then there was that one shot of them all... Oh, here they are. Whoa, nipple out! Hello! These white outfits are quite slutty for that one. And then there's like a shot of them all at like a feast. but they look
Where they
like they're
seem to be drinking
blood. Yeah. Wow, that boy just has... He's wearing an open white button-up, but he just has, like, a chest bandage.
Yeah, like
and
he's
it's just
in a
nipple
sexy,
out. Yeah.
like a action movie, and he got shot.
Yeah, he got
he's
shot,
wearing
and they had to
bandages.
open his shirt to bandage his chest. But the dum 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 dum, ba-da-da-dum, bum, bum,
Oh, Baby
bum,
Don't
bum.
Stop.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like to me. This like red zombie eyeshadow that is so popular.
Yes, one of the Elzups had it in their
Yeah.
stage, like the just putting your under,
Putting
making
the
your
red
under eye
under.
red.
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, one of those boys had a glowing heart like E.T.
Ooh. Well, they like all have glowing red eyes. They're so wet. They're just like drenched in. Oh, it's floating. Well, now we're in like a weird religious cult. I see candles and people all in the same color, and I see cult.
I don't think that's a wrong assumption.
Yeah, these outfits are wild.
Blackout.
Ooh, oh no, eyeballs.
Oh, explosion of bats. They're exploding into
They
bats.
are vampires. They're turning into bats. Nipple.
Yeah, it's so shocking.
It's so distracting. He's the only one like bearing so much skin also, and so for it to not just be chest but be full on nipple is a lot. It just feels like a lot.
No more.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Fancy car. And vampire boys.
Realize.
Real eyes.
Wow.
All right.
TO1.
TO1.
I thought that was going to be a different group because I feel like there's a whole bunch of rookie boy groups that have like 3-letter.
And
like
a 1 somewhere in it.
And TNX, I think, is a group who I enjoyed one of their songs this year.
Oh, all right. That doesn't ring a bell to me.
I think the Kick It For Now, is that TNX? Yeah, Kick It For Now. I like that song. The New 6. That's what theirs stands for.
All right.
All right. It's weekly recommendation time. I know we just talked about like a ton of stuff.
Yeah, but I do have something that we
great.
didn't talk about at all. This came out 4 days ago. I sent it to you and Jenna, and it is Hyolyn put out a dance performance video of Body Talk, which is a B-side off of the last album she released, which I think was like a year ago now, if not longer than that. I can't even remember when that album came out. But
we'll just assume it was either 2 months ago or a year ago,
or
because
a year
it's
ago,
all
or
the same
somewhere in
difference.
between. Anyway, she put out an album a while ago, and Body Talk is one of the B-sides off of it. And I love that song. It's very sexy. And she put out a performance video 4 days ago with 2 backup dancers that have like, each one has a different body type from her and from each other. And it's just the 3 of them in like white long bike shorts and white t-shirts. And they start out doing like a floor dance, and then it turns into a chair dance. And then it's just like Hyolyn being Hyolyn. And it's fucking great. There's a part where she's sitting in a chair, and then the 2 dancers bring their chairs up to her, and then she does the splits over the chairs, and then they pull the chairs out so that she just gets like lowered to the floor. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I love it. I fucking love Hyolyn so much. And I was this was a gift. It was truly a gift. And it was one of those things that like toward the end of the video, when she was like really getting into it, and there's certain like bum bum bums that I just like, I knew how she was gonna hit them, and she hit them exactly like I thought she would, and I was just like, that's my girl. So Hyolyn, Body Talk,
Great.
dance performance video. It's great. It's Hyolyn. It's classic.
I love it. Perfect. My recommendation also just came out a few days ago. I was completely 100% unaware of this group's existence. I just saw it posted in our Discord music videos channel where I go visit to see, hey, what came out? And a boy group debuted 3 days ago. They are called One Pact.
Pact.
Yes, like we make a pact. Yeah. But there's a one, like you said.
Hey, yeah.
It is spelled out O-N-E, but either
Okay.
way. Apparently, I know nothing. A quick Google search said that these are all boys that didn't make it into Zero Base One.
Oh, okay.
So-
Like winner icon.
Yeah, so I think people like know them because they watched that show. And that's why people were excited about this debut. I was like, why is everyone talking about this? The group just debuted.
Yeah.
It's because they're from a show.
Gotcha.
Either way, their debut song is called Must Be Nice. And I just really, really like it as a song. The music video is kind of dark and creepy, and like the vibe's a little like serious drama. Like it opens with like EXO style, like a poem about Orpheus.
Oh, dear.
And it's a little heavy on the drama, but the song itself I think is like
Anonymous. Anonymous.
the song itself is just like vocally really nice, like really beautiful vocal runs, and it's like vocally really interesting. And then the song itself feels kind of old, but not in a like, oh, this is outdated or this is played out kind of way. Like, I don't say that as a dig, but it sounds like a song that could have come out like 4 years ago and would have fit right in. And I just really like it. And again, I know nothing about these boys or anything, but I watched the video and I was like, hey, good song. So
Nice. What's the name of the? Yeah,
One Pact Must Be Nice.
Must Be Nice. Pulling it up now to watch in a minute.
Great.
Wait, they do have a music video for it?
Yes. The music video title is all in Korean.
Oh,
and it
okay.
has like a boy in a balaclava, like looking
Yeah, okay,
through.
okay. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Found it.
Perfect. All right. Well, it's so good to be back. Thank you guys for waiting so patiently for us. I really
Indeed.
appreciate it. And we'll get used to this new life of only seeing each other on screens to record. But it's the beauty of technology that we
I
can
know.
keep it going.
Yes, it's true. And we'll get my own little recording device set up so that I can use my microphone again.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, thanks for dropping by and
Thanks for
spending
dropping
some
by.
time with us.
You can find us on social media at AMAKPopPod. You can email us amakpoppod@gmail.com or send us a text or leave us a voicemail at 181-AMAKPOP5. You can send mail to LA and Angelica will share it with me if it comes at P.O. Box 26096, Los Angeles, California 90026. Patreon.com/AMAKPopPod. Bonus Patreon episodes on there. While we were gone over the hiatus to post something special, I put up our birthday show from January.
Oh,
So
nice.
if you didn't get to come to that live stream and miss it, it is now available on Patreon.
Yay.
So you can go check that out, as well as a ton of other things.
Did we have, I know that we had a copy of it ourselves, the after party from
Yes.
that. Did we ever release that?
Nope.
Okay,
I
great. So
have
that's
that as
maybe
well, so
something we can save for later.
We can put
now
that up
that you can
another
get the
time.
official show, which was a great time. And then the after party was a fun sort of just freewheeling
just
chat. Yeah,
chatting.
we were just playing games. Oh, we started playing Name 5. That's right.
That was in the real show.
Oh,
The
it was.
after
That's
party is
right.
us just drunk getting.
You're right.
And I made you talk about Stray
Made
Kids.
me talk about
and,
Stray
like,
Kids.
We were just talking about stuff.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Because we had drank so much nervous wine before
Yeah.
we did the show.
We started drinking before we even started recording.
But
It was a great time.
It was a
So
great time.
check it out. Patreon.com/AMAKPop. Pod?
AMA K-pop pod. Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes. So that show, as well as tons of other bonus content, audio episodes, video episodes, all kinds of fun stuff. And we'll keep putting up more on there as we always do. So you can join that if you want to. And we will be back super soon. We're going to break our new tradition of every other week that from December,
because our end of the year traditions.
we have long-standing traditions.
And we don't break those for nobody.
So every week
Except for
this
Shiny.
month, yes, that's true. But every week this month, we will have a classic Ask Me About K-Pop end of year episodes, an
Nice.
episode for awards, an episode for B-sides, and then of course the episode where we try to pick the top songs of the year.
Top title tracks. Maybe we'll drop down. We've been like adding on and start like, it was 10 and then it was 15 and then it was 17 and then it was 20. And like, maybe now we'll drop it back down to 10.
Yeah, maybe we will.
We'll
Because
see. We'll see
honestly,
how it
we'll
shakes
see.
out. I
We'll
just
see.
feel like I haven't paid attention to anything. And especially these days when there's so many new groups
Yeah.
like debuting constantly, that I maybe will see whatever their debut thing was. Like all of those support girl groups, the like
Yeah.
groups that I really liked. Like I don't follow up with them.
Right.
So that one thing I liked, maybe I never even listened to the album it was on, but I liked that one thing that one time I heard it. So I don't fucking know, man. We'll see.
And also, it was just very overwhelming in a biasy way because we got albums from every Shiny member except Mino. We got a full Shiny comeback. We also got a full EXO comeback.
Yeah.
Like, there was a, like...
And like one right after the other too. Like SM did not give us a break this year,
No way.
shockingly. They put out almost even Wavy came back with something
Yeah.
this year. That was great. I mean, I know we talked about what a fun surprise it was to see Win Win at KCON, but then Win Win and Kun were in the newest Wavy release. Something that wasn't on the catch up list, but worth
Yeah.
mentioning. Yeah.
Yeah. So stay tuned for us to figure out how that will all fit on our little listies.
Yeah, I'll have to I gotta remember that Wavy should be on the list too. All right.
All right. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. It's good to be back. We'll see you again soon. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Jonghyun, you're our inspiration.